Hi everybody, Angie here, coming on to continue on my file folder journal lapbook combo piece here. We're just working on the layers for each panel. So we've got panel, let me come back, we've got the front started and we're going along from left to right on the inside, and then we'll do the outside. We've got the first panel done, we've got the second panel done, we've got a little magnetic flip there, and we might tuck something in there. I don't know, I just thought that would be a little cute for interest. And if you don't know how I put that in, a hidden little hinge there, you can take a look at the previous video and see how I did that. But we're going to do another one here so you'll still be able to see the process. Okay, we started on here and that's where we stopped. So we're going to try and finish up here, maybe here, and talk about this page, this panel here on today's video. Okay, so all we need to do, and I've got all my pieces prepped here somewhat. Let me pull those out so we can kind of talk about them as we go. I've got this panel, and I just think that's just some yummy paper. I don't know if that's Tim Holtz or not, but we have that on the front cover piece, so I wanted to incorporate some of that in here. So we're going to start there. I had a small piece left over, and we're going to try and use what we can, and this is all I have left of that piece. And that was I think it was an 8 by 8, 8.5 by 8.5, something like that piece of paper. So I thought I cut that down. I thought we would put that right there, okay, and just glue that pocket closed. Quick and easy on that one, and that panel will be done for now. And once we get all these panels covered, then we will come back in and we will talk about and revisit adding other pieces, you know, other interesting elements, whether they be hardware, whether it be lace, or you know, different textures, extra tuck spots, writing spots, you name it. I mean, I don't know, I'm just kind of winging it. So as I go and as I talk to you guys, you know, an idea may pop up, and incorporate that into the project. So I like these, excuse my head, I like these kind of projects the best. I feel like I work the best when I do these kind of things, when I just kind of take it step by step as we go. When I try to pre-plan things, I don't know, it just, I don't know if it's something within myself, overthinking it or what have you, but I don't know, it just kind of just doesn't flow real well for me, if you guys understand that. And then especially if you only have one piece of something and you have it set in your mind and in your thoughts and in your process that that's where that piece is going to go, or that's how that particular thing is going to work, and it doesn't work, and you only have one of those, totally throws me off. Totally throws me off. So I kind of like this process, just working with projects with you guys, and just taking it step by step. Okay, so that's that one. So I think we're kind of coming together there, as you can kind of see. Okay, so we can close this one up for now. Now this here, this is our 1 inch spine. This is where the signature is going to get sewed in, just as a normal we would sew in any other signature, but that's going to come last, because if I do it now, trying to do all these panels and these extra pieces, it's just going to be a hindrance and get in your way for right now. Okay, so you can see on this page here, and I didn't close my glue last time I looked at it. Look at that, guys. I left myself some little notes, and I put, this is our 6th panel, and I wanted to do a side tuck here. Okay, but then I got to thinking, on this page here, I really like that magnetic flap, and I just used a die cut on that. Just die cut me a piece. I really like that. So I had another piece, and they were almost similar. They were well, I guess they are similar, because it was just one long strip, and it's reversible. So see this one here, and then that one. So I thought, let's skip that, since we're skipping a panel, let's reiterate that and bring this flip back in, but in the opposite direction. So this one's, you know, open like a book. So maybe bring this one in and flip this one this way. Now my question is, do I leave it like this, or do I have a match like that? That's my dilemma at the moment. So we're going to have a side tuck as well as a flip out on this one. Okay, it's going to be a double kind of panel page. Now I have pre-cut this vintage paper to go right in here. And for the most part, I think I did a pretty good job cutting it down and getting it to fit, sizing it. So I want it to sit right inside the crease lines. And I can't tell because of my head, but it looks like it might peek over just a tad bit on one end, but I can trim that off. So that's not a problem. And I'm just trying to really line it up as best I can. And I think that's good right there. So I'm going to clip it so it doesn't move on me. Okay. Now, what I wanted to do is, remember that cardboard piece that I had showed you on the first video? I've been cutting that down, and I thought I'd do a side tuck right here on this panel. Okay, so I thought we'd do a side tuck right there. And I thought about this just recently, because if I would have thought about it before, then I wouldn't have to cut a whole piece. You know, I could have cut it a little bit less, but that's okay. You know, it's not going to show is what I'm saying, because the tuck spot is going to be covering that. So I really didn't need to have hit the whole width, the whole width of this page if I would have thought about the tuck spots sooner. But that's okay, no big deal. It's not like it's a waste of paper or anything. It's just no problem. So I thought this would go there. I made myself a little notch. And then I really like this little flip out. So I was thinking, okay, how can I incorporate this flip out in here again? So then I thought, let's put this flip out on top of the side tuck. Okay, maybe something like this. And then you've actually got to open the side tuck. You got to flip that open to get to the side tuck here and whatever's in there, whether it be a notepad, whether it be ephemera pieces, whatever it is that you decide to put in there, you actually have to, you know, open this spot to get to that spot. Just an added element is all it is. Nothing really technical on it, just an added element. That's all it is. So I thought that would be fun. So I'm just really trying to decide, do I want the flip outs to be matching on this side, or do I want to alternate them and like this? And I'm thinking, I'm torn, I'm really torn. Since we're kind of going with a whole different theme of papers and lines, I guess we should just keep with that and use this as the front. And it open this way. So we have to cover this piece. So I cut down a piece. Now I could just cover it and glue it right down there on the three sides. Glue, 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 and put it right down like that. And I'd have a very narrow, slender, thin piece to tuck some pieces in there. You know, wouldn't hold but maybe one or two pieces, because it is so snug down, if you understand what I'm saying. It's glued down so snugly to our panel, okay? So I thought I'd create a little bit of a gusset so we'd have just a little bit more room in that pocket, in that tuck spot pocket, okay? So what I did is I took a piece of paper, and all I did was took a piece and cut it down just a little bit wider than this panel, and this panel is 2 inches. So I just cut it 3 inches, okay? A 3-inch strip. And then I made myself some flaps, okay? So the way this is gonna go in, this is gonna go in like so, okay? And then we're gonna glue that down, but then this is gonna glue like this, and then this one the same way, like that, but underneath actually, so it doesn't show. So then that will give us just a little bit more of an opening for something to go into our side tuck there. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, so actually what I'm gonna have to do is remove this completely out of our way for a moment. So I don't want to get it messed up and in my way. And work on this piece. So I'm going to have to put this down completely. So we're just going to line it up with my folds. And I'm going to glue it down. I left my glue open, so I hope it's not too dried up. Okay. There we go, it's coming out. I want to make sure I get right up to the edge. Really good. Okay. Glue this part down. Get that down well. Okay, now I need to recut my little tab punch there. So I'm going to bring back in my envelope punch board, line that up, and repunch that just like so. Okay, now we're going to actually glue this piece to this piece. Like that. And like that. Okay, then when we put this piece down, we actually have a little bit more room in our pocket to fit. We can actually fit, you know, a tablet in there or a notepad or something in there that's maybe anywhere from 2 to 6 pages thick, because we've created a little bit of a gusset doing it with this type of a hinge. Okay, if we were to just put it directly right down like that, we would have very minimum allowed space to get pieces in there. And if you're familiar with journals and making pockets and such, you know what I mean. Okay, so let's get that in, and then we'll go from there and we'll put this piece down. Okay, so I think I could probably get away with just using some glue stick on this, since it's just copy-weight paper. And then we'll use some better weighted glue when we actually put the page down on the panel. But for this, I think it's more than adequate. Just get a good seal on that. And glue that one down. And that one down. Make sure it's stuck down really well. I think it is. Okay, so we're done with that for the moment. Now let's bring this back in and get it down. And flip it this way. This is a big project, guys. This is a big project. Okay, so hopefully I can still get it down, but I should have made my slit before gluing this on, but I think I could still do it. Okay, so what I want to do is I think I want the pockets to somewhat align. So let me see what the distance was. I put this one from the left, which was almost 1 inch. So I want to do this one almost 1 inch. So let's see, right about there. bring in my pencil and give myself a little pencil mark. So I want it to be about there. Okay, so that's where I want that to live, right about like that. And then I'm going to measure it from the bottom. And I've got 1/8, let's see, 1.5. So let's see, 1.5, 1/8 of an inch over. So right about there. And I can erase my pencil marks once I get it in place. Okay, so that kind of gives me a guideline as to where I want that flap to sit and where I want it to live. Okay, now what I was saying, where is my finger blade? Bring that in next. I should have did this before gluing this down, but that's okay. We can still get around it. Is I should have made my line so we can have our hidden hinge, so to speak, our little flat point. So I'm going to line it up with the 2 pencil marks I just made, which is right there and right there. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball it and get it straight vertically. And that looks, to me, pretty good. So I'm going to go from the corner to corner and just make a small pencil line, a light pencil line. That's where I need to make a slit to fit my flap in, okay? And that's what I mean. I should have done this first. Then I could have cut freely. So now when I cut this, I want to cut through here, but I don't want to cut necessarily through this piece. So I just have to be really careful. And to do that, I'm going to try to bring in maybe, let's see what I've got handy that I can use. Maybe, I have a book cover. It's got a little bit of thickness to it, so I think I'll be able to feel it if I cut through. So I'm going to slide that under. And then I'm going to bring in my ruler and cut. Try my best to get that straight. And I don't think I succeeded. But we're going to keep going. So I'm trying to apply pressure, but not too much pressure to go all the way through this piece. And I think I need to got it started. Okay, there we go. Not the most perfect cut, but we're through. All right, now just to kind of hide a little bit of that rough cut that I just made. That's where ink is our friend. So I'll throw a little bit of ink right down along there. Okay. And hopefully that will be, see, and I just cut just on the surface there. I didn't go through. So that worked well. That was helpful. Okay. Now, if I slide this in like this and glue it down, when I have to be really sure to close that glue up really tight and really smoothly along the edges. otherwise when I put stuff in there, it's gonna catch. It's gonna wanna catch on there. So you're gonna have to be careful. So when I glue it, I'm gonna glue it with my flap going in this way, okay? So then as pieces are coming in and out, they will just slide in and out freely. Hopefully I made that clear. Okay, so I'm gonna check my cut and make sure that's gonna slide in. I want it snug, but I don't want it so tight to where it's gonna buckle like that. Okay, so I'm gonna have to adjust my cut just a bit. I'm gonna have to hold this up so I can see what I'm doing here, guys. I'm gonna just expand that cut just a little bit. Okay, so let's try that again. A little bit more. There we go. See, and it just slides. It's snug, but it's not buckling. So there we go, just like that. Beautiful. Okay, so then I'm gonna glue it down, but I notice I can see a little bit of white in there. So before I glue, again, I'm gonna bring in a little bit of ink, and I'm gonna ink up that white edge. So in case I don't get it exactly perfect, we will not see all that white, the raw part of the paper. Okay, so now here comes the tricky part. We're gonna have to glue and slide it in and get it in place rather quickly. Well, actually, since Glossy Accents dries so quickly, I don't think I want to use that. I think I want to use a little bit more of a wet glue to where I have a little bit more time to manipulate my paper. So I'm just going to bring in some regular glue. And I'm going to get that baby down. And I'm going to try and get right up next to the edge because I do want to get it as close as I can. Okay. So now we're going to go in. Line it right up. And down we go. And there's our flap. Oh, let's see how that kind of moved a little. It's kind of, it's dry now, so it's not moving any further. Okay, so let's give it a good press. And there's our flap. Now on this one we put a magnet. I guess we should probably put a magnet on this one as well, just so they match. And I can still see some of that white. That's bothering me. So we may come in with another strip of paper, washi, something just to cover that up. I don't know. We'll have to see as we go along. Okay, so now I think I do want to put another magnet. So let's get one of those. And I have these little circle magnets here. And let's see where we put that one. Try and get it about the same. Put a little extra glue. Just a dab will do ya. Okay, and we're going to get that down. Okay, give that a moment to set, and then we will take that off. Put it down. And let the other magnet catch to it, wherever that is, right there, okay? So now those two are stuck together. So we know where that needs to go. Now we can get this piece down. And I think since it's such a large piece of paper, I'm going to do it the way I normally do and just do half, flip it over and do the other half. So hopefully the magnet will not move on me, but we'll have to adjust it if it does. Okay, so I'm going to carefully turn this way. I want this to line up with the edge there, and this to line up with the edge here. And I think that's it. Okay, the magnet is in place. So now let's slowly work on getting this in place. And I can see now that because I didn't get a really good straight cut here, I think this is gonna fray a little bit on the paper, so I'm just gonna put a little small bead of glue right down there and see if that helps. But I think we're gonna have to reinforce that with something on down the line. We'll see how that goes, but that's my thought in just looking at it. Okay, so now let's get this the rest of the way down. Make sure you get some good adhesion around the magnet. Right up along the edge. And down we go. Okay, I think I got it. Now we can turn this baby back around and take a look at it. So that's what we're looking at so far. Okay, and you can hear that magnet clicking. So we have to open it up. We've got ourselves a nice large tuck spot, side tuck there, and a little closure just for added interest there. And I do need to come around here and bring in some ink to that edge. So let's do that, or I will move on to the next panel and probably forget. Bring this into frame. And I keep telling you guys, I need to change this dabber, but I say it's got a couple more good days of life left. Looks like that's tearing a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna have to definitely do something there. That's okay. That's what junk journaling is all about. Taking on little challenges like that and overcoming those. So I'll think about how I want to correct that problem right there. But I think that looks really, really nice. Okay. Make sure it's down really well, and I think it is. I see a small little gap right there. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on my finger knife, and I do this all the time because it's very slender, and I can slide it under the paper and get glue where I want it. So I just slide that in there like so, and down we go. And then just wipe my finger blade off, and that's good as new. Okay, looks good. All right, let's talk about this page, and then on tomorrow's video, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to prep the pages for here. I have panel number 7, and I said I thought that this would be good as a tablet page. Okay, now for that, I have brought in this piece of paper here to go there. I have a header piece, and that's another piece of the construction paper that we used on the underside of their side tuck here. Okay, and I just cut it the width of this next panel. That's all I did, and it is 1.5 inches by 5.5 inches, because this panel's 5.5 inches. Okay, and I thought that would make a nice header, and we would attach using a couple eyelets. Put an eyelet there, and maybe a tablet of paper of maybe, say, about, I don't know, 6 to 8 pieces of paper just for writing. And I thought about lined paper at first, but then I have this paper, and I pulled it out. It's 8.5 by the, what is that, the legal size pages, 8.5 by 14, and you can see they've gotten a little crumpled up on me. So I thought I would cut these down, and they're just the right size, 8.5 this way. So this is 5.5 going this way across. So I figured maybe cut them down to about, say, 5 inches. So let's do that, and then I will coffee dye them and have them prepped. I'll coffee dye them, give them a chance to dry, and press them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's say 6 pages. Okay. So let me get that lined up really well. Excuse me for just a moment. So I'm going to cut them down to 5 inches. 5 inches in width, because our panel is 5.5. And I'll do another group of them, 5 inches in width. Try and get that as straight as I can. And then we've got these pieces left over. Maybe we can find a use for those. Okay, there. Now I will coffee dye these, and they will be ready for tomorrow's video. And I thought what we would do, this will go down. This will go down. And I don't know if I want to decorate the edges or leave them squared off or what have we. Have to cover this piece. This will be our header. Put a piece of designer series paper over there. We'll put a couple eyelets in there. Get some twine. Secure them through there. Bring in a bow or ribbon, a narrow ribbon. I'm not sure. I'll decide on that by tomorrow. And then we're going to get that glued down, and that's going to be a tablet. And we will have one, how many is that, 12 pages? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think it's 12. 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so we'll have a 12-page tablet right there. So that's our plan for tomorrow. We're going to finish up this panel. And we're going to put that there. I'll find some pretty eyelets. Probably some bronze, something that we can tie in with this here that'll go blend in with that. maybe some bronze eyelets. And we'll put our header down, and that will be there. And then I think I had this one, I wrote down flap on this page. So I think I initially wanted to put this flap on this panel because I have magnet flap, but I changed my mind. So I think we will just probably, I don't know, I'll think about it over the course of the day while I'm prepping these coffee dyed pages, and see what I want to do with this, whether we just cover this page by itself, and I want to do an edge just like I did the other edge. So I hope I have some more of this cardboard paper, because I want to do both sides of this as well on the tab, and see what we want to do with that page. Okay, so it's coming along pretty good. And then on the other side, then we'll flip it over and get started on the other side. So that's what we've got so far, guys. Pretty cute, huh? What do you think? Bringing in, and we'll be bringing in our hardware, seeing what else I want to bring in there for decorating. Yeah, and then the other side. Yeah, okay. Well, I think that's a good place to stop. So that's going to go there. That will go there. This closes this way. Then this closes this way. Okay. Just like that. Then this closes on itself there and there. And there we've got our file folder journal. And see how this kind of is buckling out our spine there? This is this. I just took another piece of the lightweight cardboard that I had. I wrapped the green painter's tape around it. And if you've seen some of my previous videos, I've done this before. It's going to be a spine, a kind of like a floating spine. This is going to go right in there to reinforce that spine. So that's going to strengthen that when we put our signature in. So that's actually going to go attached and glued down right in there. Okay. Alrighty. So I think that's a good place to stop. So I can get these pages. Let me move these out. And I will leave this there so I know where that needs to stay there as well. Okay, so that goes that way. That goes that way. And that is our folder. Then we'll be getting onto the back side and see what we want to put on the back side. And yeah, it's coming along well. Coming along very well. I like it. All right, guys. Well, thank you so very much for watching today. I will see you on the next video. Take care and God bless. Bye-bye.